Hey everybody! We sure miss having fun with all of you, and I'll bet you miss having fun with us too. So let's go on an adventure together. We're going to read stories, play games, and make cool stuff. So come on, let's go on a kids quest.
Polar Bear, what do you hear? By Bill Martin Jr. and Eric Carle. Polar Bear, what do you hear? I hear lion roaring in my ear. Lion, what do you hear? I hear hippopotamus snorting in my ear. Hippopotamus, what do you hear? I hear flamingo flaunting in my ear. Flamingo, what do you hear? I hear a zebra braying in my ear. Zebra, what do you hear? I hear a boa constrictor hissing in my ear. Boa constrictor, what do you hear? I hear an elephant trumpeting in my ear. Elephant, what do you hear? I hear a leopard snarling in my ear. Leopard, what do you hear? I hear a peacock yelping in my ear. Peacock, what do you hear? I hear a walrus bellowing in my ear. Walrus, what do you hear? I hear a zookeeper whistling in my ear. Zookeeper, what do you hear? I hear children growling like a polar bear, roaring like a lion, snorting like a hippopotamus, flooding like a flamingo, braying like a zebra, hissing like a boa constrictor, trumpeting like an elephant, snarling like a leopard, yelping like a peacock, bellowing like a walrus. That's what I hear.
Hey everybody, let's go on a kids quest. Every week we'll send you clues about what to look for. When you find it, tell us in a video and have your mom or dad post in the comments. Are you ready? Okay. I spy with my little eye something blue. Something blue. Oh, here we go. Hey, this is what I've got. That was kind of cool, wasn't it? Now it's your turn. Show us something blue and post it in the comments. Have fun!
Library Mouse, A Museum Adventure by Daniel Kirk. Late one night, Sam, the library mouse, was hard at work. His friend Sarah dropped in and asked, "What are you doing, Sam? Writing a new book?" Sam said, "I'm just making some notes and sketches in my journal. Maybe you'd like to try. I think I have an extra one you could use." "No thanks," said Sarah, looking around. "You know, Sam, there's a great place next door that has the kind of stuff you're looking at in these books. I think they call it a museum. We should go." "What?" Sam cried. "There's a museum right next door?" "Sure," said Sarah. "Come on, let's take a look. This is our chance to have some fun." Sam was nervous. He had never been outside the library before. He thought and thought about what to do. Finally, he said, "Well, all right, I'll go. I'll take my journal along, but I want you to take one too." "A journal?" Sarah exclaimed. "An explorer can't explore if she's writing in a journal. An explorer wants an adventure." "Then make an explorer's journal," replied Sam. "You can take a journal anywhere and put anything you want in it, pictures or souvenirs of your trip. You can use it to write down your thoughts and feelings about the things you see or adventures you have. A museum would be a great place to take a journal." "Okay," said Sarah with a sigh. "I'll take one, but let's get moving. I'm ready for some adventure." "Right now, but come on," Sarah said. "Explorers move fast." Sam hurried to fill his backpack with supplies and an extra journal for Sarah. Then the two friends crept beneath the library door and raced across the field beyond to the big building on the hill. Once inside the museum, Sarah quickly found a pretty stamp and a check room ticket. "Can I put these in my journal?" she asked. Of course you can, said Sam, feeling very small among the giant and mysterious shadows. Then he glanced up. He let out a quick squeak when he saw a huge figure looming over him. Don't worry, Sam. It isn't real, Sarah said. Sam breathed a sigh of relief. You're right. The sign here says he's from ancient Greece. But he's broken, said Sarah. What happened to his spear and shield? And his nose? He's very old, Sam said. I have an idea, Sarah said, getting out her journal. I'll draw a picture of the sculpture. I can make him good as new. Better even with some ears and a tail. That's funny, Sam giggled. Say, what's that over there? Bones, Sarah said, looking up at the gigantic saber-toothed tiger skeleton. That's the biggest cat I've ever seen. I've never seen a cat at all, Sam said. The sign says it's been extinct for 10,000 years. Sam's paw shook as he wrote the numbers in his journal. 10,000 years isn't nearly enough for me. Look, here's more stuff from ancient Egypt, Sarah said. Just like what we read about in books back at the library. And look at that cat, Sam said with a shiver. It almost looks alive. In another room, Sarah asked, What does it say on that broken rock, Sam? I don't know, Sam said with a shrug. They call that kind of writing hieroglyphics. Some of the pictures look like mice, Sarah noted, copying them in her journal. And some of them, Sam said with a shudder, look like cats. The two friends strolled from room to room. Check out these paintings, Sarah said. They're all right, but why aren't there any mice in them? They're made by people, Sam said. But let's keep looking. Maybe we'll find some. Sam and Sarah looked at antique musical instruments, old weapons, and suits of armor. Sarah said, Sam, I'm going to climb up to the top of that rider's helmet to see what the world looks like from up there. I'll make a sketch in my journal, too. Want to come? No, said Sam. You're not supposed to touch anything, Sarah, and museums aren't for climbing. The world looked awfully big to Sarah from the top of the suit of armor, but glancing down, she saw a dark figure creeping toward her friend. Sam! She cried. Look out! Sarah leapt in the air and landed with a whoop on the cat's head. The two mice scurried away as quickly as their legs could carry them. Faster, Sam! Sarah squeaked. Faster! They rounded a corner, found a darkened stairwell, and scampered down the stairs. A mole stood quietly along a wall. Welcome to the special galleries, he said. Won't you step inside? Excuse me, said Sam. We're trying to get away from, You must see everything, said the guard. It's all made by the artist. His work is magnificent. One of the humans upstairs took pity on the artist one night and let him come inside. Now he works on his pictures down here during the days and keeps an eye on things upstairs at night. He's a cat, Sarah cried. She and Sam lifted their pencils like spears and held their journals like shields. Hold that pose, the cat said. It's absolutely perfect. Quick as a wink, the cat began to sketch. I love mice, he said, but I so seldom get to draw from life. I'm glad you decided to stop running away. I knew you two would make fabulous models. Meet the artist, said the guard. A cat? Asked Sam, trembling. There's no need to be afraid, the mole said, and wait until you see how he's drawn you. It will be good enough to frame and hang on the wall. I have an idea, said Sarah. Maybe when you're finished drawing us, Mr. Artist, I can draw a picture of you in my journal. Fellow artists, asked the cat. My friend Sam makes books, Sarah said. And my friend Sarah, said Sam, keeps a pretty nice journal. When Sarah was finished with her sketch, the guard said, Wonderful. It would look perfect hanging right by the entrance to the gallery. You wouldn't want to donate it, would you? Sarah looked at Sam. There are a lot of pages in that journal, Sam said. I don't think it would hurt to spare just one. As long as I have room for the artist's autograph, Sarah said. I'm not going home without it. I guess an explorer can explore while writing and drawing in a journal, Sarah said, after they had said goodbye to their new friends. True, Sam said, but an adventure is fun too. It gives you something to write about. Where shall we go next? Sarah asked as the sun came up behind the museum. I'm sure you'll dream something up, Sam said with a yawn, and the two mice headed back home to the library. The end.
Hi everyone, I'm Miss Becky and welcome to the Lego Challenge. So how this works is I'm going to spin this wheel. Whatever it lands on, that is what you are to build at home using your own Legos. When you've finished, be sure to come right back here and share with us what you built. Today I have a very special assistant. Miss Olivia is going to help me spin the wheel. Hi! Alright, we have landed on pirates! So what you are to do is to build something that has to deal with pirates. You can build a pirate, you can build a pirate ship, you can build a monster that destroys pirates, whatever you want to do. Again, once you are done creating your pirate creation, be sure to come back here and share with us what you made. If you're watching this here on Facebook, you can comment the picture right down below in the comments, or if you're watching this on Instagram, you can use our hashtag TCLKidQuest. I can't wait to see what you guys build. Bye! Bye!
The Little Paintbrush by Bjørn F. Rørvik. There once was a little paintbrush who was never used. He lived in a cabinet with large brushes and fine brushes. The others teased the little paintbrush because he had never painted anything. I was used to paint Madonna, said one of the bigger brushes. The painter always chooses me. He likes me best because I make such beautiful strokes. We were used to paint the sun, said two others. Look, we still have yellow in our hair, and you still have no paint on you. Look at me, I am so fine, said the fourth. I made girls on the bridge. The little paintbrush was upset when he heard them bragging and congratulating themselves. He longed to be used like the others, but the big brushes always stood in front of him like a forest, so when the painter opened the cabinet, he never caught sight of the little paintbrush. One night, the little paintbrush tried to sneak in front of the shelf without the others noticing. Well, well, cried one of the big brushes. Look who's trying to sneak around. All the others turned. Stay in the back, little one, they said, and if you try that again, we'll throw you out of the cabinet. Later that night, when he thought the others were asleep, the little paintbrush tried again, but he was discovered. Stop there, cried one of the big brushes. We can see you. He did it again, shouted the fine brush. Out you go, they said, and began to push him towards the edge. Don't do it, cried the little paintbrush. I just want to paint a little. Can't I paint just a bit? A small dot or something? Ugh, we don't want you here. You are totally useless. Then they tipped him over the edge. The little paintbrush landed on the floor. He heard the others laughing from above. Now you'll get it good, they shouted. The painter's going to step on you and break your back. The little paintbrush was scared and upset. He was not afraid of being stepped on. He was more afraid of mice, for they could gnaw at him and eat his hair. The paintbrush regretted that he had tried to sneak in front of the cabinet. After all, it was quite safe in there with the others. Now he was all alone in the world. Then he heard a kind voice from the corner. Do not cry, little one, said the voice. I will look after you, I will. Little paintbrush looked up. It was the old broom. He was big and dusty and stood incredibly tall. I have not painted anything, said the broom. I'm just used to sweep the floor, and I get lots of trash in my beard. That's how it is with me. The small brush rolled over to the broom. Even though the broom was a bit shabby, he was comforting to talk to. You must make sure to be used one day, too, said the broom. It is good to be needed, you know. I don't think I will, sobbed the little paintbrush. I'm too small. That's what the others say. The little paintbrush was consoled and slept safely with the broom. But in the middle of the night, he was awakened by a mysterious sound. Something scraped and bumped along the other side of the wall. Mice, thought the little paintbrush. They've come to gnaw off my hair. But it was no mouse. It was a sinister thief. A pale face peered in through the window. Then the glass was broken. The little paintbrush peered cautiously out and saw 2 feet creeping across the floor. The thief stopped and looked around. Then he went to the paintings, which rested against the wall. "There's a thief, planning to steal a painting," whispered the little paintbrush. "We must do something." "We must wake the painter," whispered the broom. "But how do we do it?" The painter, named Edward Munch, was in bed, and the door between the bedroom and the workshop was closed. "There's no way," said the old broom. "We can't get to Munch." "Wait a minute," said the little paintbrush. "I'm so thin, I think I can get in through the keyhole." "Yes," said the broom, "and if I lean up against the door, you can shimmy up my back to get to the hole." The little paintbrush wiggled up and just managed to squeeze through the keyhole. He rolled across the floor, over to the bed where the painter was asleep. Munch's snores rumbled like thunder. The little paintbrush tickled the bottoms of his feet. Stop it," Munch mumbled in his sleep. "I'm sleeping." But the little paintbrush persisted. He tickled and tickled until Munch jumped out of the bed. The painter heard sounds from the workshop and realized there was someone there. Munch looked around. He had eaten a cheese sandwich the night before, and the plate was still on the nightstand. He quickly grabbed a knife and fork, which were covered in ketchup, and crept towards the door. Munch quietly opened the door to the workshop. The thief was standing there with one of Munch's paintings in his hands. The painting was called The Yawn and had just been completed. "How dare you!" cried Munch. "Get away from the painting!" The thief turned around. He screamed when he saw Edward Munch waving his knife and fork at him. The thief ran to the window and leapt out. He ran like a madman through the garden with the painting under his arm. Edward Munch just watched. "Let him run," thought Munch. "I wasn't really happy with the yawn anyway. It was too boring. Now I have a much better idea. I must paint right away. Where are my brushes?" Just then, the little paintbrush rolled up to him on the floor. "Oh, what a lovely little paintbrush," Munch said. "I had not seen it before. I will use it." The painter went straight to the easel and started a new painting. He painted all night, and when morning came, the painting was almost finished. Munch was pleased with the painting. "It was something else," he said. "Not a yawn, but a scream. I shall surely call this painting The Scream." The little paintbrush was tired and happy. His painted hair stood straight up, and he had not just painted one color, or just a small dot. No, he had tried many colors: blue, white, red, green, and orange. Over in the cabinet, the other brushes were downright grumpy. Why should the little bristlehead paint so much all of a sudden? "Use one of us now, Edward." But after that night, the old brushes were not used as often anymore, no matter how much they fussed and displayed themselves. For Edward Munch had a new favorite brush. The stolen painting was never recovered, but the scream became famous and is now hanging in a museum. Should you ever be lucky enough to see The Scream by Edward Munch, note the fine brushstrokes. They were made by the little paintbrush. The end.
That was so much fun. We're so glad you came on this Kids Quest with us. We'll be back next week around this time, so make sure you come back and see us. Bye!